There are moments when the heart's silent sorrow becomes overwhelmingly loud. It's the profound ache of realizing you've been holding on to someone who wasn't truly holding you back, a pain that fractures you from the inside. You invested your time, love, and loyalty, often staying when it was wiser to leave, fighting for a connection that had already faded on their end. Now, the daunting question arises. How do you release someone who caused such deep hurt, someone you loved profoundly? Understand that not everyone who means the world to you is meant to be a permanent fixture in your life. The real challenge isn't merely moving on, it's choosing to stop investing your emotional energy in someone who wouldn't offer you solace. True healing cannot occur in the environment that caused the wound. You cannot replenish your spirit by pouring into someone who only depleted it. This journey is about more than mending a broken heart. It's about healing your soul, standing amidst the ruins of what you believed was love, and affirming your inherent right to peace. It's about looking yourself in the eye and declaring, I matter too, because sometimes the ultimate act of love is the courage to let go. The pain you carry from loving someone who wounded you is invisible but intensely real, a silent fire within. You might hide it well, but the pieces of your heart feel scattered. There is no shame in this pain, no weakness in your hurt. Don't let anyone rush your healing process. Pain doesn't simply vanish with time. You are not overreacting or irrevocably broken. You are in the process of healing. This process begins not with denial, but with acknowledging the wound, with affirming that while you are hurt, you will not remain broken. Letting go is far from simple, especially when dreams and deep trust were invested in that person. You didn't just lose them, you lost the version of yourself that you shared. The truth is, healing is impossible if you refuse to admit the pain's existence. Your pain is a signal pointing to where you were wounded. Don't hide from it. Allow yourself to feel, to cry, to break if necessary. For there is strength in surrender and power in honesty. It's okay to admit you're not okay. That's where authentic healing begins. Pain often makes us question our worth, wondering if we were at fault or insufficient. However, their inability to cherish your heart does not diminish its value. Stop blaming yourself for another's failure to love you. The ache you feel is a testament to your capacity to care deeply, a courageous act in a world often guarded against love. Now, the bravest act is to forgive yourself for enduring undeserved pain and to begin nurturing the neglected relationship with yourself. There will be nights filled with crushing silence and waves of memories triggered by a song or a place, pulling you back to moments that are gone. Shame might try to tell you that you should be over it by now. But grief has no fixed timeline. Letting go is not a linear path. When these heavy moments arise, don't flee from them or bury them under distractions. Let them speak and teach, for even cruel pain carries lessons. Your heart is signaling its need for care, compassion, and space, not judgment or shame. You owe no one a speedy recovery. You owe yourself the grace to heal at your own pace. Perhaps your pain was inflicted in private, unseen by the world, leaving you to carry the injustice alone. Just because others don't witness your suffering doesn't make it any less real. You don't need their validation to feel what you feel, nor their apology to begin your healing journey. Allow yourself to experience the full spectrum of your emotions, anger, confusion, heartbreak. Stop minimizing your pain to make others comfortable or reshaping your truth to suit their inability to handle it. This journey is about freeing yourself from the emotional prison they created. Fear of vulnerability, of falling apart without support, can make us avoid our pain, but you are stronger than your breaking point, more than your grief. The current pain won't last forever, but it will persist until you acknowledge it. Feeling your pain is strength. Burying it is weakness. Let it surface, pass through you, and meet it with compassion, not shame. Healing isn't about avoiding the storm, but walking through it, knowing light awaits. This pain might have deep roots, perhaps in childhood wounds or generational patterns that taught you to equate strength with silence. Real strength lies in the courage to express your brokenness, to give your heart the attention it deserves. You don't have to live masked or suffer silently. Your heart was made to love, hurt, and rebuild. Every tear has prepared the ground for your next chapter. Be proud of surviving what you were never meant to endure alone. Looking back, it's easy to criticize yourself for staying too long or trusting too much. But at that time, your choices were driven by love and hope, not foolishness or weakness. Don't let newfound clarity turn into self-blame. You were brave to try. Healing affirms that you did your best with what you knew then. Now you know more. Let the past teach, not imprison you. Acknowledge the pain, but don't reside in it. Let it shape you into someone wiser, reminding you that you deserve more and are learning to provide that for yourself. Every denied pain erases a part of your story, and your story, with all its heartbreaks and unseen moments, contributes to your emerging strength. Growth comes from acknowledging, this happened, it hurt, but I'm still here. This acknowledgement, owning your truth without apology, is where freedom begins. You don't need to fix everything instantly. Just stop pretending you're fine. Let your truth and heart speak. For the moment you stop hiding is the moment healing commences, leading to restoration and honest self-love. If you're tired of the mask, of carrying pain that isn't yours, know that you don't have to hide, nor be ashamed of your heart. Even when broken, your pain reflects your courage to love openly. Acknowledge it, sit with it, treat it with compassion, and gradually it will soften, giving way to freedom. One of the most challenging aspects of healing can be the silence waiting for messages that don't arrive, conversations that don't happen, apologies that remain unspoken. This creates an emotional prison, replaying events and searching for reasons. But you deserve freedom, and that begins with understanding that closure is not guaranteed. It's a gift, not an entitlement. Some people leave without looking back, not because you lacked worth, but because they lacked the strength to face the damage they caused. You cannot place your healing in their hands. Stop waiting for them to bring you peace. Choose it for yourself. The longer you wait for answers that might never come, the longer you remain captive to a past moment. Perhaps they left abruptly, ghosted you, or treated you disrespectfully, leaving you with burning questions of why. Some people avoid offering closure because they cannot face their actions or the hurt they caused. They run, rewrite narratives, and disappear to evade accountability, leaving you to decipher their silence. Healing stems not from understanding their brokenness, but from choosing to love yourself more than you crave their explanations. Their silence reflects their character, not your worth. The moment you stop seeking their voice is when you begin to hear your own again. Let it rise and drown out the silence they left. We chase closure to make sense of chaos, believing that knowing why will lessen the pain. Yet even with explanations, the emotional ache of unreturned love and dismissal wouldn't magically vanish. What you truly crave is comfort and an end to the pain, a complete story. But some stories remain unfinished. Some chapters close without a final sentence, and that's okay. Peace sometimes arrives when you accept what is, rather than trying to make sense of everything, allowing you to move forward. Waiting for someone else to close the door keeps you in a room that's no longer yours. You deserve to walk out, even if they never acknowledge it. This quiet strength of walking away without their closure is profound. You might have replayed potential reunions or drafted unsent messages, driven by the human need to be heard and understood. Sometimes, however, the most powerful response is silence and no from indifference, but from a decision to protect your peace. Sacred silence, born of strength, can be powerful. Closure is ultimately a choice. The moment you decide their silence or absence will not define your story, you don't need to prove your pain to them or seek their permission to heal. Let your peace and healing speak louder than their silence. If they didn't see your worth before, your words now won't change them. Your joyful, strong, peaceful life is your true closure, your answer. We often anticipate closure through an apology, but some individuals, due to pride or brokenness, will never offer one. That is a reflection of them, not you. Stop waiting. Move forward because you realize you could open a new door, not because they closed the old one. Realizing they've moved on as if your shared experience meant nothing stings deeply, but also offers freedom. When you stop waiting for their apology, you begin writing your own ending built on self-respect. You choose to forgive, not for them, but for yourself, and start building something meaningful from the ruins. Your story begins where you choose to rise, and that rise starts when you stop seeking closure from those undeserving of your questions. Letting go of the need for external closure doesn't mean the pain instantly disappears. Moments of sorrow will still arise. Healing is realizing you don't need anyone else to validate your experience. You felt it. You survived it. That is enough. You can declare an end to this chapter now, not because they granted closure, but because you gave it to yourself. This is power. This is real closure. When you finally stop checking for messages, stop hoping, stop rehearsing conversations, you realize you were the closure all along. You just needed to believe in your own voice. If they walked away from your offered heart without integrity, it doesn't mean you must lose yours. Hold your head high, even through the ache. Let them depart in their chosen silence, while you advance in your earned strength. Closure was never about how they left. It was always about how you choose to live after. So, choose to live boldly, heal loudly, and love yourself fiercely. That's how you reclaim your power. Real closure unfolds gradually in layers during quiet reflections, when their name no longer triggers a spiral. It arrives when you can acknowledge the hurt but feel redefined by its lessons on boundaries and self-respect. This internal closure doesn't require anyone else. It only needs your choice to stop waiting and start healing, to embrace what can be. There's immense power in no longer needing anything from the one who hurt you, not their words, regret, or understanding. When you reach this stage, you've taken your narrative back. The once haunting silence becomes a sacred space where your own voice emerges, affirming your completeness without their closure or presence. Once that voice strengthens, you move forward, stepping closer to your freedom with every step away from their silence. So, if the apology or explanation never comes, let it be. Your closure is within you. You don't have to beg for what you can give yourself. Step into your next chapter with dignity, not because you got all the answers, but because you no longer need them. That is where true healing begins. Love is never meant to feel like punishment, to drain your life, or make you doubt your worth. It shouldn't silence you or make you fear being your authentic self. If a connection breeds anxiety, makes you shrink, or requires you to walk on eggshells, it isn't love. It's control, manipulation, or emotional imprisonment disguised as affection. You deserve genuine love that nourishes your spirit, not one that steals from it. Real love doesn't crush your spirit or tear you down. It shouldn't be a relentless storm, but a safe shelter. If you've been taught that love must be earned through suffering, it's time to unlearn that damaging falsehood. You are not here to bleed for loyalty or endure pain to be deemed worthy. That is emotional bondage, not love. You deserve a love that brings clarity, peace, and respect without conditions tied to your worth. Too often, intensity is mistaken for love. While fire can warm, it can also destroy. Love that keeps you guessing, Swinging between extremes isn't passion, it's trauma. If someone claims their hurtful behavior is a manifestation of their love, they are manipulating you. Love is not a test of pain endurance. It's a promise of protection. You should never have to beg for basic respect or shapeshift to avoid abandonment. Conditional affection or tenderness shown only after causing harm is not love. It's control and manipulation. We must stop romanticizing struggle love that breaks you under the guise of growth. Real love doesn't demand you lose your identity. There's a quiet, invisible pain in those loving the wrong way, hidden behind forced smiles and the constant shrinking of oneself to appease another. You make excuses, rationalize disrespect, and cling tighter, often fearing solitude. But peaceful solitude is far better than a relationship that slowly erodes your spirit. Love shouldn't be a daily battle, bringing more tears than smiles. Someone who truly loves you won't starve you for affection or use your vulnerability against you. They will honor and protect it. If being with them means constant pain, it's fear, not love, and you deserve safety. Many are conditioned to equate love with pain due to past experiences or dysfunctional models witnessed growing up. But love is meant to heal, not traumatize. It should be a place of exhale, not suffocation. Though walking away from the familiar is hard, familiarity doesn't equate to rightness. You can break the cycle of dysfunctional love and choose a path where love is steady, kind, and feels like coming home. You are allowed to want ease and joy, to declare that a love costing your peace is too expensive. Relationships require work, but that work shouldn't involve constant self-reconstruction after being torn down, nor tolerating betrayal, disrespect, or manipulation. Love should not be the reason you lose confidence or question your worth daily. If it is, you're experiencing bondage, not love. The right love helps you find your voice, accepts your flaws with grace, and lifts you up. If you feel perpetually exhausted, carrying a weight that isn't yours, it's your soul signaling for release. You're surviving, not living the love you were made for. It will never be enough for someone who thrives on your suffering. Deep down, you know love isn't supposed to feel this way. It should energize and support, not trap you in cycles of emotional highs and lows. Craving peace and stability isn't selfish or asking too much. If love is only shown when you're hurting, it's a form of control. Society has long glamorized toxic love, equating drama with reality, pain with passion, and jealousy with care. This is dysfunction disguised as desire. Love shouldn't involve fear of conflict, abandonment, or being your full self. It should be a safe haven where your heart is seen and your soul understood. If you're constantly in survival mode, you're not thriving, you're merely coping, and you were made for more. Don't mistake pain for proof of love or suffering for devotion. Choosing to walk away, to choose yourself, is an act of power, not weakness. Even if someone claims to love you, love without emotional maturity can become a weapon. A person can love you and still be toxic or cause harm. Love alone is insufficient. Respect, communication, and accountability are also vital. If these are absent, their love is hurtful, not healthy. You don't have to stay due to shared history or a once imagined future. Sometimes leaving is the most loving act, not because you stopped loving them, but because you started loving yourself. Love should help you grow, not break you. Anyone demanding your suffering for affection offers control, not love. You are worthy of love and respect simply by existing without needing to prove your pain tolerance. Believing this transforms everything. Your standards rise, you cease tolerating chaos, explaining boundaries, or begging for the minimum. Rooted in your worth, those who genuinely love you will meet you there, not because you demand perfection, but because you no longer accept pain as the price of love. If love costs your peace, it's too expensive. Love should feel safe, aligned, and like growth, not anxiety or destruction. If it diminishes your self-worth, voice, or mental health, it's time to let go. You weren't born to carry another's dysfunction or absorb their trauma as intimacy. Love was never meant to be paid for with suffering. You deserve love that heals, builds, and empowers. Such love begins with you. When you stop accepting pain as love's language, you open yourself to the love you were always meant for. Often, the deepest hurt comes not from what others did, but from what we repeatedly did to ourselves to keep them silencing our voice, feigning wellness while crumbling inside. This quiet self-betrayal occurs each time you swallow your truth or bend your boundaries to feel needed, mistaking it for compromise while giving away parts of yourself to be chosen. This is survival, not the flourishing you were meant for. You cannot grow while consistently choosing them over yourself. The love you sought should not come at the cost of your peace, voice, or true self. There's no healing and loyalty to someone who requires your self-betrayal. You owe yourself better, starting the moment you cease abandoning who you are. You teach others how to treat you by how you treat yourself. Consistently ignoring your needs, tolerating disrespect, and swallowing your truth invites others to do the same, perpetuating a cycle that breaks only when you affirm your worthiness of more. Your time, energy, and love are sacred. Stop handing them to those who don't honor them, which signals you're okay with less than you deserve. This isn't humility. It's self-neglect that must end. You are not an emotional dumping ground, nor must you constantly prove your worth to inconsistent people. Loyalty to others is meaningless if it requires betraying your soul. Fill your own cup, protect your spirit, and love yourself openly. When you stop betraying yourself, you attract those who won't either. A version of you, weary from years of self-sacrifice and people-pleasing, awaits your choice to finally prioritize yourself. Self-betrayal manifests quietly in people-pleasing, smiling through pain, saying yes when your heart screams no, avoiding conflict by feigning contentment. You don't have to be the perpetual strong one, or carry others' emotional burdens to feel worthy, nor shrink to fit spaces not meant for you. Your responsibility is to be true and whole, to stop trading peace for temporary connection, and to cease entrusting your worth to those who cannot manage their own. Choosing yourself doesn't mean losing others. It means losing the illusion that self-abandonment was profound freedom. You might have been taught that love is selflessness, but this was twisted into self-erasure, leading you to give until depleted. When they left, you face rebuilding a barely recognizable self, the consequence of self-betrayal, disconnecting you from your own identity, needs, and dreams as your life revolved around theirs. But you matter, your needs matter, your voice matters. Love is not love if it demands your disappearance. The right people make space for the real you, your voice, growth, and emotions. Until they arrive, show up for yourself daily, fully, and unapologetically, because your primary relationship is with yourself. Continuous self-betrayal attracts more of the same. Your exhaustion may stem not from life's unfairness, but from an internal war knowing your needs, yet ignoring them, seeing red flags, yet justifying them, feeling patterns, yet convincing yourself this time is different. This is the weariness of living a lie disguised as loyalty. You are not crazy, just disconnected from your truth. A disconnection built from being told your feelings were excessive, your needs selfish, your voice inconvenient. This ends now. Each act of self-abandonment surrenders your power. Healing begins when you stop seeking externally what you must give yourself. Permission to feel, speak, walk away, say no. Let self-loyalty be your new standard and peace your new home. You don't need to betray yourself to belong. You need to return to yourself. Be patient. It's hard to admit how often we abandon ourselves to avoid abandonment by others, hoping they'll change if we wait longer, try harder, forgive more. But deep down, the truth and its cost louder anxiety, fading joy, a tired heart are known. Love should not demand your soul. Courage to accept this, not more time, is what's needed. Free yourself instead of trying to fix them. Self-betrayal is a prison disguised as love, and the key has always been yours. Choose to leave, choose peace, begin again, this time staying fiercely loyal to yourself. Stop betraying yourself when someone implies you're hard to love. That belief is their wound, their limitation, not your truth or flaw. You don't need to shrink for them to feel important or silence your truth for their security. Real love doesn't demand self-silencing or pain as proof of worth. If you keep abandoning yourself to fit another's idea of love, you'll remain small, empty, unseen. You were made to stand tall in your truth, shine in your wholeness, live unapologetically. The moment you stop letting go of yourself to hold on to them, you grasp something far more valuable: self-worth, dignity, your inner light. This shift is transformative. Real power isn't feigning wellness or forcing smiles against your heart's truth. It's living aligned with your truth, honoring your feelings even if they discomfort others, and refusing self-betrayal for superficial peace. Peace built on self-abandonment is a ticking time bomb. Eventually, your true self will rise and question why you repeatedly chose others over her, silenced her voice, ignored her pain, dismissed her needs. Choose your truth and stand in your worth now to break the cycle and begin healing. This healing starts with one decision: to stop betraying the one person who has been with you through everything yourself. You don't have to continue giving your best to those who offer their worst, begging to be seen, endlessly explaining boundaries, or proving your worth. This cycle of self-betrayal ends when you decide it does. You are not too much, too broken, or unworthy. You are a whole human with dreams, emotions, and dignity. Anyone who equates loving you with hurt isn't your person. Stop abandoning yourself to chase love. The love you seek is within. When you stop betraying yourself, you become magnetic to love that doesn't hurt, that stays, sees, and honors your soul. Choose yourself boldly, without shame or hesitation. You are not too much for the right heart. You've just been too little for your own. That ends now. There comes a point when your reflection feels unfamiliar, not because you've changed, but because you've lost connection with your true self from prolonged catering to others, wearing masks for approval, and feigning peace. Rebuilding this relationship begins with honesty, admitting "I miss me," realizing you abandoned your dreams, needs, and voice for another's comfort. While not your fault, it's your responsibility to return to the real you, waiting beneath the noisanaut, the version shaped by heartbreak or others' opinions. It won't be easy. Self-love may feel unnatural, and doubts may arise. Persist. Keep showing up and listening to yourself, for this relationship is foundational. Rebuild it moment by moment, choice by choice. You cannot heal while rejecting the one who needs you most, yourself. You've been present through every heartbreak, silent cry, and lonely night, yet often treat yourself like a stranger, shaming yourself for needing rest, being emotional or imperfect. You wouldn't speak so harshly to a loved one. Extend that compassion to yourself. Healing starts with self-compassion, whispering, "I'm still proud of you," even when you falter, and forgiving yourself for what you learned the hard way. Rebuilding your relationship with yourself means becoming your own safe place, especially when things go wrong. Can you hold your own hand when the world lets go? Affirm, "I love you," on messy days? That is the work, the practice that cultivates wholeness, not perfection, but daily choosing to love yourself through everything. You are not too far gone, just one honest moment from returning home to yourself. You sought external saviors, someone to finally see your worth. The truth is, you are your own rescue, the hand you've been waiting for. What if you're meant not to be found by another, but to finally see yourself, to provide the validation, love, patience, and forgiveness you've chased in others? Rebuilding your relationship with yourself commences when you stop outsourcing your worth, needing applause for your gifts, and can affirm I matter before a mirror regardless of external validation. The way you speak to yourself sets life's tone. Believing your worthiness stops you from chasing those who make you question it. Loving yourself fully prevents settling for fragmented love. The world reflects your inner state. If you desire loyalty, peace, or love, offer it to yourself first. Don't wait for another to lead you back to you. Be your own guide. You were never meant to live through another's lens or measure value by who stayed, left, or never saw you. Heartbreak isn't your definition, but a reminder of neglected inner places. Sometimes life breaks you to reveal what's real. In that stillness, you meet yourself again, not the wounded, people-pleasing version, but the real, powerful, whole you who once dreamed, loved, danced, laughed, and hoped fearlessly. Reconnecting happens through love, patience, and grace. Remembering you are not too broken, too far gone, or unlovable because someone didn't know how to love you. You are unlearning who they told you to be to remember who you truly are. This is your greatest strength, choosing to love yourself back to life. You cannot rebuild while punishing yourself for past survival choices, staying too long, giving what you didn't have, losing yourself in someone who didn't see you. This makes you human, not weak. You've survived and paid the price. Now rebuild with grace and healing, not guilt or self-blame. Forgive yourself. Release the weight. Every kind word to your reflection, honest boundary, moment of self-awareness is a brick in constructing an internal home safe, steadfast, and resilient. Stop self-demolition during healing. Start anew with love, right now. Rebuilding your relationship with yourself demands silence, space, and stepping back from noise, opinions, and distractions to turn inward and listen. The answers you seek have always been within, inaudible amidst numbing, scrolling, comparing, and distracting. Healing resides in stillness, in asking, what do I need? And patiently awaiting the answer. Perhaps you need rest, to stop explaining yourself, or to forgive your past self-neglect. Whatever it is, it comes from attention, presence, and choosing to stop running. Sit with yourself. Allow emotions to flow, but don't abandon yourself again. The moment you stop running, healing begins not by adding, but by stripping away what was never meant to stay, revealing the true, invaluable you. You cannot rebuild your life with tools of destruction like self-criticism, belittling your growth, or comparing your healing, which keeps you stuck. Growth is about direction, not speed. If today you chose kindness over perfection, honesty over performance, presence over pressure, you are healing. Stop demanding flawless progress. This is your journey, your rebuild defined by you alone. The old you, begging to be seen and tolerating disrespect for love, operated from pain. The rising you chooses differently, peace, self-respect, healing without hiding. Even without external validation, keep building this internal sanctuary. It's for you, your healing, power, and future. Discover your power the moment you stop waiting for permission to be yourself. Rebuilding your relationship with yourself means no longer needing external validation for your emotions, boundaries, or dreams. You spent enough time shrinking and dimming your light. You were never too much, just too much, for those incapable of deep love. That's your brilliance, your power, not a flaw. You don't need to be smaller to be loved. Walk boldly in your truth and let those who can't meet you there fall away. This is sacred self-honor, not selfishness. After bending too long, it's time to stand rooted in who you are, even if uncomfortable. Tear down shaky foundations, false stories. Old lies, worn wound sand, lay down truth, love, and deep, lasting self-connection. The more you love yourself, the less tolerance you'll have for what wounds you, signaling real healing. You'll stop chasing ghosts, begging for closure, explaining your worth. You'll realize you never had to fight for love, only for yourself. Once you do, you stop performing and settling, choosing with clarity, peace, and intention. Rebuilding isn't about revenge or proving them wrong, but proving to yourself your inherent sufficiency, even through heartbreak and despair. You were becoming stronger, softer, refusing self-abandonment for a broken table. You are your healing, not your pain, and that healing will transform everything. Forgiveness is among the hardest parts, not because they deserve it or their actions weren't damaging, but because the pain you carry doesn't deserve to remain on your shoulders. You forgive not to absolve them, but to allow yourself to breathe, not to invite them back, but to reclaim the life they tried to diminish. Unhealed pain will drain you. Forgiveness is strength, not weakness or forgetting. It's declaring, this pain ends with me, cutting the cord to trauma. It's not pretending it didn't hurt, but deciding not to carry it anymore. They might never apologize or admit fault, but your freedom cannot hinge on their accountability. You forgive because peace surpasses pride, because you're tired of yesterday weighing on today. It's a process. Some days you'll feel released. Others, memories will flood back. Each time you choose peace over bitterness, refuse to let their actions define you, you are rising, reclaiming power. Forgiveness means acknowledging and feeling the pain, then releasing it for yourself, because you deserve to breathe without weight, move without the past drag, smile authentically. It's a self-gifted release from an undeserved prison. You have the right to anger, but also to freedom. You have every right to your feelings, grief, anger, pain, but eventually you must ask how long you'll let that pain control your life, how long you'll carry a grudge so sharp it cuts you. Valid anger is heavy, draining joy and clouding peace, making happiness seem impossible. Forgiveness is the key back to yourself, choosing yourself over pain, light over swallowing darkness. It doesn't excuse their actions or necessitate reconciliation. It's deciding not to let hurt harden you, so you don't become what broke you. You forgive for better sleep, easier breath, unburdened laughter. The longer you hold on, the deeper pain weaves into your identity. Let it go for yourself and the future version awaiting release. Forgiveness is a brave, powerful decision. Some people will never apologize, admit wrongdoing, or take accountability. Waiting for that conversation, that moment of truth, can keep you broken and chained to a past they've abandoned. Forgiveness is deciding to stop waiting, affirming, I'm done needing your words to heal because my healing is mine now. You've cried enough, suffered enough for someone oblivious to the damage they caused. It's your time to rise, rebuild, renew. You can't rewrite the past, but you can choose the next chapter's direction, starting by letting go of what they'll never give. Closure often comes from you deciding you deserve peace, even without their validation. That's real strength, forgiveness, freedom. Forgiveness doesn't mean the hurt didn't matter. It means your life matters more. Stop energizing those who drained you, replaying betrayal if you seek freedom. Bitterness is a cage. Forgiveness is the key, a practice, not a single event. It's daily choosing, I won't let you steal another moment. It may feel unfair, but holding on to pain doesn't achieve fairness. It locks you in an unserving story. Forgiveness isn't erasing pain, but refusing definition by it, standing in your truth. Yes, it happened, but I decide what's next. This is your inherent power. You are not weak for forgiving. You are free, done being a prisoner to what was. Walls built high to protect your heart from pain also keep healing out. Forgiveness dismantles these walls, letting light and real love, self-love, soul-deep love back in. Forgiving makes room for joy, clears wreckage for better growth, helps you rise from ashes, and permits new beginnings. It takes courage, but having survived the worst, it's time to live the best. You don't need it all figured out. Just begin. Choose today to lay down what was never yours to hold pain, betrayal, anger. Affirm, I deserve better and it starts with me. You can't change the past, but can change its control over your future. That's forgiveness's gift. It hands back your life's keys, declaring, you no longer live rent-free in my mind or define who I become. This is power, a freedom declaration. Stepping into this freedom transforms you. Healed, free people, unmanipulable by fear or bitterness. Live with depth, love unapologetically, and keep rising. This is who you are becoming, who you've always been beneath scars. Don't let one broken chapter prevent writing your story's remainder. Too much life awaits to stay stuck. Today, even if your voice shakes, choose to let go, to forgive it for them, but for you, for the joy and love you're meant to experience. You are not what happened. You are who you choose to become next. There's a distinction between forgiving and forgetting. Remembering can be a powerful growth tool, aiding healthier boundaries, peace guarding, and wiser choices, but it differs from reliving. Forgiveness allows looking back without falling apart, acknowledging, yes, that hurt me, but it no longer owns me. True healing lies between holding memory and releasing pain. Honor your past without being chained. Carry lessons, lay down poison. This is strength, wisdom, grace. Forgiveness can be a quiet soul whisper. I'm tired of carrying this. I'm ready to breathe again. Your turning point. Pain worn as armor, thought to make you stronger, is a misconception. Real strength is in letting go, not in prolonged holding. You've proven the wound's depth by surviving. Now prove you can rise, smile without bitterness. That they didn't win forgiveness, is that proof? Evidence your spirit is bigger than what tried to break it. It's not excusing, but refusing its control. You've carried, cried, sacrificed enough. It's your time to rise, rebuild, reclaim. Forgiveness is a daily practice of choosing not to let peace be stolen, declaring, this ends with me, no longer energizing undeserving people, rewriting your story with strength. Each choice for peace over resentment, freedom over bitterness, isn't just healing, it's legacy, creation, cycle, breaking, becoming your intended self. You owe them nothing but yourself, everything peace, presence, future. This journey begins not with their apology, but your decision. You deserve freedom when you stop dragging hurt's chain and walk towards healing. Forgiveness isn't about making peace with them, but with yourself, a gift of a quiet mind, anger-free mornings, past-free nights. You forgive because you deserve freedom. Some wounds get no apology, some actions no ownership, but don't live stuck. You've suffered enough. Stop letting their lack of accountability pause your life. Rise above it. Choose yourself. Joy. Life not in yesterday's shadow, but in tomorrow's light. Forgiveness reclaims power, changing how you breathe, speak, live for you, your heart, healing, and peaceful future. Start today, however small. Release what was. Embrace what is. Trust what's coming. The moment you stop feeding hurt, you nourish growth. Forgiveness is quiet strength, louder than vengeance. You are not what happened. You are what you choose next. Choose peace. Choose freedom. Choose you.